Réveillon. Waking. But it's an ancient feast, old Lucien Imboldt had said, back in Paris in the days of the restored kings. Older than the evangelists who claimed it as the celebration of our Saviour's birth. His dark eyes had sparkled in the candlelight of some nobleman's gilt-trimmed salon, the great chamber temporarily silent. Like this dining room tonight, Benjamin January reflected, with the food spread waiting, and the servants in pantry and kitchen catching a last bit of rest before their betters came in to feast. In his mind he still heard the white-haired violinist's creaky voice, smelled the savor of goose and caramel and rich sauces above the honeyed scent of 1,000 beeswax candles. The chilly whisper of draught that stirred the long velvet curtains tonight, 16 years later, has it been only 16? And half a world away, reminded January of how deep snow had lain in the Paris streets that Christmas of 1824. It's the midnight of the year, Imboldt had gone on, thin fingers adjusting the ivory pegs of his fiddle. The long dark, when the gates between the worlds stand open, and all the spirits walk freely back and forth. I don't think it was originally a celebration at all. I think it was a way of making sure that everybody was in the same room, with all the lamps burning, until day came again. Tonight, Christmas of 1840, from his place on the musician's dais, January surveyed the dining room of the Villard townhouse on the Rue Royale in New Orleans, and smiled at the memory of his friend. Réveillon. Paris. Was that really me sitting at the harpsichord, waiting for all the cousins and uncles and in-laws of the Comte de Morans-Vrigère to come back from Mass? It was hard to believe. Jacques Bichet, the flute player who usually made up one of the little group of New Orleans musicians with whom January regularly performed, leaned across to him now, asking, "It true they got a genuine French princess coming here tonight?" "I heard she was a marquise." Cochon Gardinier slipped back into the dining room through the discreet pantry door, hopped up onto the dais with surprising lightness for a man of nearly 300 pounds. He moved his violin, where he'd left it on his chair, with one hand, balancing in the other a plate full of vol au vent pilfered from the Vieillard kitchen. "A vicomtesse," corrected the other fiddler, Hannibal Sefton, like an emaciated Celtic elf beside Cochon's comfortable enormity. "Madame de Saint-Forgeux, kin to the Daumont and Rochebaron, and I don't know how many other aristocratic houses of France. She is escorting, I understand, one Daisy Emmett of Virginia, a family less renowned in heraldry, perhaps, but with a dowry of $500,000 and prospect to inherit 6 times that sum." He pressed his hand to his ribs to still a cough, while around him the other musicians, Jacques and his old uncle, Cochon and the handsome Philippe de Coudreau, exclaimed in awe. News of the heiress's arrival in New Orleans had been bandied among the whites of the town, both American and Creole French, for a week, among the free-colored of the French town for twice as long.